Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Saturday, it's episode 997. What have you got for us today? The answer is a real-life location from down under in Australia. Is that anything like an Australian accent? Is it? Why do I even try? It's, like I say, real-life location. It's by a creator we've not seen before on the channel. Reason for that is...
it's my first map.
That's right. And it's not a bad effort for a first map. There's really not that much wrong with it. If anything, it might be one of those maps that makes you think you're going to be building one thing and you'll end up having to build something slightly different. But is that a bad thing? Is anything a bad thing, really? No, I don't think so either, and those sort of things I like to support by hitting the like button. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. Today's map is Berry, NSW, New South Wales, by Dongwater 67. Now, I like to think of Dong water as the stuff that we flush down the toilet, and we've all seen what colour that water is, haven't we? Our poor city struggle. There's your spidery water flow map there, and your realistic terrain heights. Again, look at all that build plane. You're going to want to fill that. Is the map really set up for it? We have a lot of fertile land. I would say go for farming. Go big time for farming. Have a lot of fun with making fields and stuff in this area. And of course, if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, well, you've got salmon fishing in that river and all the other bits and pieces too. Off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, if you've got mass transit, you will need mass transit because otherwise this map will not work. We have a whole bunch of Aussie trees and ferns and stuff. We'll be using the Lavianti 2.0 theme and the realistic 1.2 LUT. Okay, down to ground level, and I'll first look at the map at ground level. And it's fine, actually. It's a realistic looking map. It's not going to completely blow you away, but it is pretty sound. It does have some quite good looking hills and mountains in the background. Now, we have got a little bit of a terrain alignment issue. See the blue mantle along the central median there? This is being caused by the terrain alignment problem. There's obviously realistic map. We've got a bit of a hill, and we're building this. It's not a very heavy hill, as you can tell, but we are building along a hill, which means that there is a bit of terrain alignment issues. Now, what obviously needed to be done is just a little bit of terrain smoothing along here. Now, it's not a huge problem, and most people, especially newer players, or shall we say, dare I say, lesser players, if there's such a thing as a lesser player, because we are all entitled to be proud of our cities, but in terms of experience, lesser experienced players probably won't know or care so much about that. But those wanting to have the perfect city, we'll have to do a little bit of terrain alignment along pretty much all of the highway. On and off. There are a few spots where it levels out, where of course the terrain is level. But yes, a little bit of work with the terrain leveling tool before putting down the highways would have quite happily fixed this one, and you wouldn't have this blue mantle, just a little line running. And of course, you only really notice that when you're doing your screenshots from further back, saying how pretty my city is, and then you'll get a splash of blue, and you go, what is that? Ruins your screenshot. Lovely little bridges across the map. Can't really grumble too much about these. I wouldn't have done too much different with them. I think there's one on the map which is just a little bit too low that I noticed, but other than that they are all pretty fine. And when I say too low, it's sort of like with the concrete just touching the water. It's almost believable in the level. And speaking of level, we have level highways now, finally. But yeah, in terms of the level of the bridge across the water, it would be eroded by the water, and so that just the one that I noticed. I think you might see that in the closing screens. We've got the highway fences along here just to add a little bit of sound protection, and this little start square intersection, again, it's not going to handle huge heavy amounts of traffic. Do like the roundabouts, so the roundabouts, I like the there's a little bit of road glitch there with the ramp coming down, going from highway ramp down into regular road, but it's all clean and tidy, and I just like the detailing, and the detailing is fine. And speaking of detailing, we've got an asset today which is all about prop placement. That's because it's a prop pack, and it enables you to build your own horse racing track. Thank you, Armesto. Now, this has been made for Pug Gaming's channel. I'm sure you all know about Pug Gaming. Do check them out if you aren't aware. But this has been made for their channel. They're doing some work on Ascot and making an Ascot build. And Armesto's made this set. Prop line tool, very good for making your fences all connect up like that. And factoids, because factoids. Samuel Taylor Coleridge, there you go, get your words out. Samuel Taylor Coleridge, the romantic poet and critic, died on this date, the 25th of July in 1834. They were in severe financial trouble as an undergraduate at university, so much so that they joined the army under the alias Silas Tomkin Cumberbatch, and was soon found out. So there you go, Samuel Taylor Coleridge joining the army rather than running away from the army, which is something that a lot of people do once they've joined. I don't like it here. I'm not turning up on Monday. They're bullying me. Yep, yeah, that's going to be a case. Man up, man up. Oh, yes. Anyway, it's a great set. Of course, I've only done a little horse race track, but you could do something magnificent. Horse racing track prop pack. By Armesto, today's asset pack of the day. It's one click you get the whole lot, and you can build whatever you like. Yes, that track was just a little bit of fun, a little bit of let's get everything. I could have done a full size one, but it wouldn't have shown anything more. You've seen everything that pack has to offer there, including like the fences, the hurdles, and the finishing line there. That's a separate thing, and oh, it's all good, all good. Speaking of all good, the national roads. Now, I'm going to give credit for this. I think this is a neat touch, and that is that these national roads have no traffic on them. This is because they don't all connect up with the outside world. The highways do, and we've got various other occasional connections, but these little ones, well, they would pretty much be empty roads in real life. Pretty much. There would be some traffic on them, of course. But these are obviously a real life location roads. I'm glad they're in place because does bring a little bit of realism. It feels that the map is alive, even if there's no traffic on them. Of course, you can use the unlimited outside connections mod to connect up your and have loads of traffic, but I don't feel that you really want them, especially with like the way that the map is laid out, and you really don't want to be doing a huge city build on this one. You could upgrade those roads to handle any amount of traffic you like. These ones could become 3-lane highways. It's fine. Do what you like with it. But as it is at the moment, you see, I do like this little bendy bit of road at the end here. This has been very cleanly and crisply done. But yeah, no outside connection. So just something to consider, that some of your roads won't have any incoming traffic for a very specific reason. And so on to the rail. Now, what can we see with the rail? Well, it's pretty unremarkable in that it doesn't live the limelight. It doesn't really do anything wrong. It is exactly what you want from rail, which is believable, realistic. Yes, we've got the catenaries, and I imagine, I don't know for sure, but I imagine that there are no catenaries in Australia because those rail routes are long. A bit like in the United States, they go on for thousands of miles, so I understand. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't go on for thousands. Maybe I've got them crisscrossing the deserts of Australia in my head and they just don't do that. But I still imagine that they don't have them. But if they do, or if they don't, you have the catenary replacer mod, which will get rid of them. This little bridge here, just want to show you this. There's just a hint of blue mantle, which from the wrong angles shines through from a distance. Just a hint of it. But other than that, really neat little rail bridge there. So yes, I don't know for sure that there are no catenaries in Australia. I should know, really. I should do a bit of research right now. But I'm recording now, and I've got to the point that I didn't think about it before I started. So there we are. But yeah, easily replaceable if that's something you want to do. But the rail route itself, you can see, it's totally unremarkable. It doesn't do anything special. It doesn't have to do anything special. It doesn't want to do anything special. If it did something special, I would have actually been more concerned. These bridges are perfectly perfect. Everything's clean, everything's smooth, and it's a decent rail route. So yeah, so that's the rail done. We're coming up towards the intermission, at which point we will take a breather. We'll come back and do all the extra bits about the map, because there are a few things that we've not seen yet that I think we need to take into consideration. And then we'll just start winding down for Sunday, the Steam Weekly Chart show, and we'll come back on Monday. Monday, it's the last 3 shows before the 1000th. I've got some big plans. I have some very big plans. The 1000th show I've got some ideas for. When we come back in the 1001th show, there'll be some changes. Oh yeah, just some. Don't worry, the same format will live and all the bits that you love will still be here. But I'm just freshening it up a little bit, and I'm sure you'll approve of that one. Anyways, we are now reaching the edge of the map, which means about time, just about time, for us to take that little intermission. Bring it on.
I can't believe I'm plugging this, but my husband, this old gamer, has a YouTube channel where he builds cities or something. He thinks he's funny and different from other Cities Skylines channels, but what he needs to do is take out the trash. But in the meantime, check out this old gamer.
And so back to Bury, New South Wales by Dongwater67. And shipping routes. And again, a bit like the rail, it's exactly what the map needs. I cannot fault, complain, or find anything wrong with this one. It's just a little curved route. There you go, off the edge of the coast, and the right distance away from the coast as well, to be feeling real. We have water flow, and in terms of water flow, well, it's pretty light. Don't expect to have a huge amount of pumping and drawing from the rivers. You'll be using water towers and all the inbuilt assets and custom assets that you want to handle your sewage on land until you can buy down to the coast, at which point you might want to do some stuff down at the coast, some desalinization plants, or words to that effect. Maybe. But yeah, the rivers are pretty light, but they're fine and they're realistic. Okay, the beach is very muddy in this part of Aussie, apparently. Apparently. Yeah, it's that kind of like, it's not the golden sand area of certain other famous beaches that you'll see down in Australia. I don't know. I've not checked the beaches. I've not checked the images. And then, like I say, we've got a good mix of trees. I'm going to say a very good selection of trees here. Like the use of them along the rivers, it's just the right amount of use along the rivers to make those rivers believable. Then we get up into the hills, and there's more trees up there in the hills, which again, I'm buying into. I'm not entirely sure whether I like the trees on the cliff edges or not here. Because when you get in and have a look at them, you think, would they have got a grip on that rock face there? And the answer is probably not. I mean, there will be maybe into the cracks and stuff like that, they might have done. But when I clean them off, I'm not sure that I actually prefer it. Maybe some lighter shrubs would have been better on there just to break up the rock face. But I'm just cleaning this one up. I probably should have used the tree brush or move it. I could have used one of those too. But yeah, cleaning that rock face up, I'm not sure that I actually prefer that. When I look at there'll be another one in a moment a bit further up the way. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. And I wouldn't mark that down. But this rock face up here on the edge here, again, looks really good. Again, looks really, really good. But with the trees on it, I kind of almost prefer it. Although it is quite clearly just tree brushed across it. I don't know. I think I'm going to give credit to the map maker on that one. I think it works. Speaking of working, this build plane is quite big and will encourage you to build a huge mega city. The map isn't really set up to support a huge mega city. Bear that into consideration when you're doing it. Nice little lake here. When you're doing it, bear that into consideration. you could do a big city here, but you have to do a lot of infrastructure work. Speaking of working, your turn to do some work now. Head off to the I button top right hand corner of your screen and vote on the map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Me, what do I think? I think aesthetically, I like it. It doesn't really shout I'm a 4-star map, but I genuinely like it. I'm gonna go for a low 4 on this one. I think it deserves just a squeeze more than 3 stars. 4 stars for aesthetics. For detail, again, there's not really much wrong with it. Oh, there's that bridge in the foreground there. That's a bit low. But we've got a hint of blue mantle, and the rest of it is fine standards. Oh, well, we've got the poorly aligned roads. Again, I just feel overall it just... No, I've got to go high 3. I wanted to go 4 stars. I'm going high 3. Changed my mind last second. Gameplay potential. Yes, absolutely playable. If you play it as it's meant to be played, it's probably a once through gameplay, this one. You won't play it multiple times. There's nothing wrong with it. I've got to give it a medium to high 3. Gameplay. Playable, definitely. Bury, New South Wales by Dongwater67. Rock solid map. Nothing wrong with it. A few of you are going to really like it. And that's what matters. If we get a few new subscribers to that map, that's a good thing. But if you're looking to do a big city build, probably not the one for you, but it never was intended to be. Okay, we're in the 20 seconds and out series now. If you're here, if you're still here, that's what I'm trying to say. You are in the 20 and out elite. Use the word of the day. Made it easy for you again in today's comments, and score yourself 100 population points. Also, what's your score? Let me know. Thanks for watching.